Hey guys, so over a year ago, I did make some pretty funny characters on Fallout 76, and a lot of people asked me to make a tutorial. However, at that time, I wasn't really making Fallout videos until recently. So I decided, hey, why not make these videos and show you guys how I made them? So, as you can see, this is my character, and I know a lot of people struggle with Fallout 76's character customization because I won't lie, a lot of the technology used in this game are pretty old. They're quite similar to Fallout 4, and Fallout 4 is a pretty old game. It came out over 10 years ago. So I want to show you guys how I make my characters because I simplified it. So as you can see, even though we do have a pretty nice looking character, we are going to destroy his face. Okay, as you can see, the character does look pretty cursed. It's got some big old ears, lips, and very nice skin, but we're going to change it up a little bit. So before we truly get into this build, if you don't know how to get into the character customization screen, all you have to do is open your map. If you look in the top left, it says menu. Click on that, and then you scroll over to change appearance. Just like that, you're right back where you were. So for those who think that your character is permanent once you leave the vault, just know that you can customize your character whenever you want to. You can even switch from male to female if you really want. So let's see how we can fix this. So the first thing I usually do is honestly just go to the hair and just get rid of it. We're going to try to make the character neutral. And then next, let's try to remove all the damage on the skin. So once you're in this section, which is basically the very beginning, as you can see, we can see body, sex, extras, face, and face type. We want to be in this menu because this is the very beginning part of it. So go over to the face and press type. It basically means skin type, and set it to smooth. And then go back and go to extras. So extras is where you add in like all the freckles and makeup and damage. So we're going to reset everything. So as you can see, I basically added on all sorts of random stuff. As you can see, they're highlighted. So what you do is you go over to them and press X to remove or press X to apply. So in this case, we're going to remove everything. Okay, so once you do it, do not press B. B is to cancel. You press A to accept. So make sure you accept it. I made the mistake a while ago of once I take out everything, I press B to exit, but that actually cancels all that progress you made. So same with markings. So go over to them, remove them, and if you look in the bottom of the screen, make sure you press accept. Blemishes, same thing. Remove, and then accept it. Damage, let's see if there's any. There's a little bit. So let's remove it and then accept. Okay, so we removed all the extra stuff on the face. So we're right back to basically a default face, or what looks to be default. Okay, so from here, what I usually do is I try to bring everything back to like a neutral size. So as you can see, the ears are really big, so let's shrink it just a little bit. Maybe you can change the type too. So what you do is you press A on it. If you're ever confused about how you're controlling certain parts of the face, just look in the bottom of the screen. So there's sliding, scaling, rotation, moving. So just do them one at a time. So let's try to move the ears in a bit more. We can slide it. And scaling is size, so let's shrink it. And then rotate is how much you want the ears to stick out. So if you don't want it to stick out so much, you can rotate it. This goes for other parts too, like the eyes. So let's actually fix that because that is scaring me. So click on the eyes, and then if you want to scale it, you can do that by shrinking it a bit. If you look over to the side profile, you can slide your eyes in or out. So like if you want sunken in eyes, you can bring it in all the way, but if you want it to stick out a bit more, you can bring it out. If you hover over the ears or eyes or eyebrows or any parts of the face, it says type in the bottom of the screen. So when you press X, you can see different eye types. So for now, let's just pick out just a neutral eye type and make sure it's not too sunken in, and we're good. So these lips are ginormous, so let's fix them. So I usually switch out the type first before I shrink it. So let's just do average lips. And then what you do is there's top and bottom. So I'm going to start with bottom, click A on it, and then shrink the scale a little bit. So we scale it down a bit, go over to the top lip, scale it down a bit, and you can slide it in or out. So same with the chin, you can adjust the size of it, and the nose. So yeah, once you understand that you can highlight certain parts of the face, you can just go ahead and use your left stick and just adjust to how you want it. So if the whole mouth area is too much, like it's too far up, just bring it down like that. And you can scale the mouth as a whole too, so let's shrink down the mouth. Okay, so he's starting to look like a normal human being, which is nice. So I think we just got to fix the eyebrows. So every eyebrow looks a little weird, which means there's something going on around the eye area that is wrong. So we're going to fix that in a bit. So, okay, so right now his face looks alright. It looks like we can actually turn him into a normal guy for once. So to start things off, I'm going to go for like a Giga Chad kind of face just to mess around with. So I'm going to basically straighten up the face. And for a Giga Chad kind of guy, usually got like very large jaws, but straight. You can even scale it like that. And then facial hair, I'm going to remove it for now so I can see everything. Okay, at this point, you can do whatever you want to the face, but I know so many people were asking about how I made certain characters, so I'm going to show you how I make one variation. So what I do is I try to fix the eyes first, basically the middle of the face. So, but the eyes is the most important because that's like the window to the soul. So I'm going to go for a certain eye type and I'm going to rotate it like that. Look at that. Okay, so the face, this is probably something you may not realize, but you can actually make it like saggy by bringing it down. So if you don't want it to look saggy, you can lift it a little bit. That's how you get shadows to hit your face a little differently. Also, cheekbones, I usually put them right around there or so. You can do whatever you like though. I just raise them up and stick them out just a little bit. And one thing that most people don't realize is the chin. I generally scale it up a little bit, make the chin a little bit bigger but not too much, and then slide it outwards. Because if you slide it in, then it looks like he has a really bad overbite. So slide it out, then it looks neutral. And if you bring it down, then you got his big old chin. Okay, the face, if you want it to be round, you stick it out, but if you want it to be less round, then you sink it in a little bit. But if you make it too much, then it's going to look like he is pretty hungry. So I'm going to put it probably around there. Also, same for under the eyes. You can raise it up or bring it down. I'm going to raise it up just a tad. Also, for those who don't know, you can adjust the eyelids too. So you can bring down your eyelids a bit more. And the bottom part, you can raise it up. Okay, so the eyebrows, you can straighten it up if you want to. So I usually do something like this and get them close together. Kind of similar to like Lee Pace's eyebrows. Okay, so as for the forehead, I forgot to smooth it out, so there you go. Okay, so we're getting there with the face. Got pretty Chad looking face here. But the eyes though, it looks like I made a bloodshot, so let's fix that. So if you change the color just by pressing Y, you can switch it however you want to. Realizing the ears are actually like a little too small, so I'm gonna bump it up just a tad. Okay, so for the nose, I didn't change the type very much. You can pick out whichever nose type you want, but I usually just go for something that's more neutral. And then you can adjust the tip of the nose and make it smaller or bigger. I usually try to be careful not to make it too small, or else you'll look like Michael Jackson, so put it like right in the middle. Same for the nostrils. Okay, so for the lips, I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. And you can make him happy or sad. Oh my god, I did not know I can do that. You can make him really sad if you want to. But I'm going to just make him look like that. Why not? There are all sorts of lip types that you can use, but I'm going to probably go for something neutral. That looks like plastic surgery. There's only two things we gotta fix for me personally, so I think it's probably the eye area. It's almost there, but not quite. Let me see if I can find a eye type that is a little nicer. Okay, so I picked out a rested eye type, and then I'm going to lower the eyelids so it looks like he just does not care. But if you bring up the eyelids, the bottom eyelids too much, it looks like he's going to sleep, so I usually bring that down a little bit. But yeah, the eyes make a big difference. And then eyebrows, you can choose whichever type you want. But I think I like this one the best. It's just full. Okay, so nose bridge, I didn't talk about it too much. You can set it how you want to. I think for me, it really doesn't matter. Just make sure it's not crooked like that, because you can't do that. And then for facial hair, you can use whatever you like. So hair type, you can go with whatever you want. I'm going to go with this style and then maybe make it a little bit of a lighter color so you can actually see the hair. You bring down the hairline just a teeny bit. Also the forehead, you can stick it out a bit more if you want to. So you can sink it in like that or make it stick out like that. If you go over to extras, you can add in little extra things like makeup or scarring or whatever you want. I'm going to see if there's a slight sunburn so there's more color to the face, and I think I'll be happy with that. So let's say you find a scar or blemish or sunburn that you like, but you don't want too much of it. If you look in the bottom of the screen, you can scale it down. So it says 100%, which is the most you can get. But if you want to bring it down to like 50, you can do that, or even lower. I'm going to do like about 40%, and you just accept it, or apply and then accept, like that. So just slight color. Okay, I think we are done with the face. So yeah, it's pretty simple. For females, some of the changes will be a little different. Before I try to make some hybrid looking characters, but they don't allow that sadly, so just know that for the female menu, it might be slightly different with the hairstyles and all that. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the face. It's pretty simple. Once you get a handle of it, you can make whatever you want. I like to make cursed faces every now and then, but sometimes I just want to make something that's normal, so yeah, that's basically it.